we are recording, so folks can watch it if they come later. Um, Before we start, I just wanted to remind folks that there is a OCLC is hosting a in-person meeting on March 25th. They're going to be talking about all of their products that the Wisconsin academic libraries have. So it'll include WMS. It might include a couple other things. In the morning, they're going to be focused on giving kind of like a product update, the roadmap, laying that out. In the afternoon, there's going to be some actual sessions, like teaching sessions. It is free, it is limited. So if you are interested and are able to attend, I encourage you to do so. I will be there. I will also, take notes, share out anything I learned from the sessions as well. A link to the registration if you didn't receive one directly to your institution. It's in Basecamp. If you don't know where that's at or don't have access to that, please let me know and I will get you that link.
Okay. Yeah, that one takes a lot.
Second.
Word for it.
All right. Let's see here. Oh, the other thing, someone had asked, because it is covering a lot of different OCLC products. They asked what all was a list of all of the products that we have access to. And I did want to, let me just share my screen quickly. I wanted to show, so this is our WISPALS ILS resources. I did add a page here, and this includes all of the resources that are included in our subscription. So just in case you were curious or you wanted to know what they were all listed out, it is on there now. All right, so I had, before we kind of just, talk about anything that you have on your minds, there were two topics that had come up and folks had asked me to cover in today's session. One is best practices for removing inactive student accounts, and the other is AI features in WMS. Excuse me. I think I'll start with the AI features real quick because it's a little bit of a walkthrough, and then the best practices, I'm hoping we can open that up for discussion. So I'm logged into, who am I logged into? Blackhawk. Alphabetically, they're first, so I just grabbed them. So one of the questions was, can we just review some of the AI features in WMS? And there's a couple of different ones. I think the newest one is the AI metadata enrichment in Record Manager. And there are a couple things in order for you to use it. You have to make a couple of settings changes. So I just wanted to go over those. And in admin, for yourself or whoever the user would be, you do need to enable a role. So under roles, I'm just going to hit edit here. It's called cataloging AI, but if you just search for it, it's the first, it'll pop up as the first one. So you want to make sure that that's selected. So select that, save that, excuse me, and make sure that's enabled for you or for any of your users that want to check this out. The other setting that you'll need to make is in Record Manager. So on Record Manager under User Preferences, and again, this is for your login, under Working with Records, right here. Hope you can see that. Use metadata AI enrichment services. If you haven't, these will be unchecked and you'll want to check them. You don't have to check them all. If you just use LC or Dewey, you can just check those. It's nice to see all of them, and I'll show you in a minute. So make sure those are checked. I want to say too, when you do make a role change, you may need to log out and log back in. I think I always have to do that in order to actually see the change. So keep in mind that that's probably something you'll have to do. All right. So, excuse me. In Record Manager, I am just going to do search. I think I want to look at print books. So we're going to go ahead and I won't actually, it's Michaela on here. I don't want to scare her. I'm not going to make any changes to her records. But I'm just going to go into edit view. And you do need to be in the mark edit view in order to utilize the metadata options. But so I'm in the record. You can see there's the bib record here. They have a couple LBDs and LHRs. But what you do is you just click on the AI metadata enrichment button. So once you have made the changes, you've given yourself the role and you have selected in the record manager user preferences, you can come here and it will take a second for it to give you your results. But I had selected both call number and subject headings. And so it's going to give me results for both of those. And I had all three selected. So I have Dewey selected, NLC, and subject headings. So you can see that it's giving me results. So the ones that are already checked are ones that already exist in the records. And it even shows you here, fields that are both selected and disabled are already in the record. So this one, I can't disable it because it's already in the record. But it gives me some other examples that might fit that I might want to add for the different call numbers. So there's, I believe, Blackhawk uses Library of Congress. So if they wanted to add an additional call number, they could. Down below, there's different subject headings. But you can also look, you can click on, so if we wanted to look at this is the one, HV 1552.3 is the call number that's currently listed in there. But if we wanted to see where 1568 was at, we could click the browse associated call number. And what it will give you is a result of other things in the catalog that have that call number. And then you can take a look at those there. To go back to the record, you just click on the edit mark. And this will take us back here. So if I wanted to select that and then add it, it'll automatically add it. If I select it.
To the 090 or the 050?
Excuse me, what was that, Catherine?
You add it to the 090 or the 050?
I think it's you know what, let's do it, but I won't save the record.
So usually, unless you've got a certain level of cataloging ability, that usually doesn't put it in the 050. Because you may not, unless you're like a master cataloger. At least that used to be it. You had to be a master cataloger before it went into the 050. Otherwise, it went into the 090.
You're a little bit garbled, but I think what you said is, it sounds like you weren't sure if it would add it because of permissions to the 050. Is that what you said?
I don't know if this is still true, but it used to be that only people who had a certain level of cataloging skill were allowed to make things in the 050, otherwise was the 090. So
got it. Okay, let me just.
So I just didn't know if that was still true, or whether the AI would overrule those rules.
Let's take a look. Has anyone used this at all? Julie has. Julie, do you know where it gets added?
For me, it's adding them in the 050.
050. Okay, great. Thanks so much for that. And then also there are some other subject heading suggestions. So again, you can search the subject headings and see what other things come up in that with that subject heading if you want. And again, you can just click edit mark record to go back. Since Julie answered our question, I'm not gonna save this. I'm just going to cancel it. But that's how the AI features for the record manager work. There are also smart fulfillment and ILL, which is already um, configured for WMS users. You just have to make some changes to the world and config WorldShare ILL automated request manager. You have to set some stuff up there. But has anyone else tried anything? Julia, you said you had used it. Has it, do you think it works well?
I have been using it more for the subject headings. I haven't found that the call number suggestions have been as useful. But I don't know if that's just the records I'm looking at, maybe in a certain subject, but that's just what I'm seeing so far.
Have you used any of the other features?
Any of the other AI features?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just the AI metadata enrichment.
Has anyone else played around with it at all? Or had any additional questions about it?
Where was it under roll? I'm trying to do this as you go along. Where was it under,
Yeah.
admin? Where is it under roles? Is it under, edit
Yep.
role?
Yeah. So go down to roles.
Yeah.
And you can either scroll down to cataloging. I just like to do a quick search and just put AI in there and it'll pop up right away. Otherwise, it's under cataloging, and then it's right here.
Okay.
And then just as a reminder, under record manager, under user preferences, working with records, use metadata AI enrichment services, and you need to select those. If you don't select those, I believe the button will stay grayed out. All right, well, why don't we hop on
I have a
over?
question before
Oh,
we move on.
please.
Looking at the roles brought something back in my head that OCLC at one point was going to be working on streamlining the whole roles process. Do you know where they are in that so that we can make things a little bit more precise about what kind of roles and access people have?
I need to
Does
look at the roadmap again.
anyone else remember them saying, or am I just, dreaming my
I think
hopes?
they've added a few more nuances under work study. So I think they have added some more categories than there were when we got training 2 years ago. Because I was just upping some of my work studies abilities. So I think.
Okay, I'll go back and take a look.
Yeah, there are some new ones. The thing that I find frustrating is they're not like listed as hierarchical. So for example, like with cataloging, right? I have myself listed as cataloging admin, and I don't have to select like some of these other roles, but I do have to select cataloging AI. And if you're admin, it seems like it should encompass everything. So I know there are just some, but I feel like all ILSs are nuanced in that way. So I don't know. But I can look at the roadmap and follow up with you, Rachel, see if there's anything.
Thank you.
Might be a good question on the 25th as well. Um, Anything else related to anything we just talked about before we jump to best practices for removing students? I think I'm gonna stop sharing just because I'm not gonna walk through the actual process of bulk removing students. I don't have a file, but I wanted to just talk through the process, see what folks have actually done already. And I know Kim had mentioned in our last meeting a little bit that she had tried the process, but I just wanted to do a quick overview. So first of all, if you do bulk patron deleting, you do have to have it turn you have to request OCLC to turn it on for automation, and you do have to do a test first. I let me grab the link. I'm going to throw in the chat. There is some information on doing the like who to contact, how to contact OCLC. But also on this page, it'll show you if you're unaware what the format of the file should look like, what should be included. It's going to be very similar to your patron updates, but those are just all the fields that you have to have are listed on that page as well. So that might be helpful. I also wanted to point out when you do bulk updates, even if you have inactive students, if they have anything checked out, if you do have fines or bills, and those students have a fine or bill, you won't be able to remove them. Or even if they have a claims lost or claims returned on their record, you also won't be able to automatically purge those. So you have to take care of those issues before the patrons will be deleted. But once you upload the file, just like with your updates, in the reports in in the oh shoot, what is it? It's the back end when you FTP the FTP area. There's the report section. You will get a report of the patrons that were not uploaded, so you can see. But WCTC is thinking about doing this, and I think Amy, and did you have any specific questions? Oh, you are muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm at my research help desk, so I had my earbuds in, but I'm doing some coverage this morning, unfortunately. So we have been manually deleting our staff. We get a report from our HR weekly, so we've been taking care of that, but we have not figured out yet how to delete students. I don't believe our students are, there's nothing in their record that indicates that they're no longer a student. So I know there's some work we're going to have to do on our end with our IT department. So if anybody, we use Banner for our enterprise system. So I don't know if we need to figure out a way that they can mark people as inactive. So we have not yet bulk deleted any patrons. So that's what we're trying to figure out is how we're going to do it.
Our workaround was that when anyone is registered or is inactive, every day there's a report that says that this employee or this student is active and they're given an expiration 1 year in advance.
Aye.
So if they are not an active student after a year, they're definitely expired. And then we haven't done it yet, but our plan was to run a bulk delete on everyone who's expired.
Amy, I had several meetings with our IT department about this, and they found the easiest was to base it off of Active Directory. So they have an active student container. They always call it the active student container and an active employee container. So this would be the students who are given active status for accessing any of the college's systems. And I thought, well, that might be a great way to do it. So they actually I ask them, and then every 6 months, they can send me a file of all the student ID numbers in the Active Directory container. And then I just compare it to what we have in WorldShare, and that's how I can get my list. If they're not active, if IT doesn't consider them active, then it's okay for me to mark them as inactive in WorldShare. So I leave all the figuring up to them of figuring out how they put people in and out of that container.
Has anyone else done any deletions yet? Or how are you managing it at your college?
I don't think Gateway is tried yet. We tend to like to hold on to patron records for some reason.
A lot of schools do. I noticed that when we were migrating.
We're digital hoarders.
One reason we don't is we have students who come in and out, and we also have adjuncts who may only teach every other year. So we prefer not to get rid of them if they're going to be if they're just skipping one semester. We prefer not to, delete all their patron records if they're just going to be coming back.
That makes sense. Does anyone have anything else regarding patron deletions that they wanted to chat about or share?
I think a lot of it also has to do with how you have things set up for your patron additions. So, ours is a full file of all patrons coming from work day every week. So that might, if you're only getting new patrons, that might affect how you're deciding on to do deletes or not.
Are there any other topics, questions, issues, things that you're doing that you would like to share with the group?
I was very excited to see that the next generation notifications for bills are available now. So that's my project for today, is to finally set up nice looking billing notices.
I thought at some point we were going to have a whole meeting on discovery, but then something else popped up. So I was just wondering what your experiences are with searching, helping students search in discovery. If there's any weird quirks happening for you all. I know every once in a while I have issues doing a title search. It's just not popping up.
I discovered, and Melody confirmed, that call number searches weren't working. Evidently, it's a known OCLC issue.
Yeah.
I
Rachel,
found out yesterday. Oh, sorry.
oh, go ahead, Kim.
I found out yesterday through the Spring Share Lounge that right now all the chat boxes for live chat have broken in OCLC's discovery. So I know that that's on OCLC's end, and they are looking at fixing those. But I looked at ours yesterday, and yeah, it's not working.
Hmm.
I
Hey,
think
Rachel.
I mentioned this earlier, but one thing that's not necessarily OCLC had not updated the fact that the UWs, most of the UWs were still being listed interlibrary loan as being active when they actually weren't. I've been told they fixed that, but I actually haven't double checked yet. So sometimes I guess there was a lag between when libraries withdraw from Iliad OCLC and when they actually show up as no longer being lenders. Did I just confuse you, Melody?
I'm just having it might be just me, but I'm having a hard time hearing you. You're very garbled. Your microphone, I don't know. I think I'm following, but it's just a little difficult.
If you have a headset, I think that would improve things immensely.
That, or you got to pick a different microphone. Sometimes it's like people sound like that. It's like they're talking into the microphone on a shut laptop.
Rachel, you had mentioned a meeting on discovery. Are you referring to these meetings?
Yes, way back in 2025, or once again, this might be one of my hallucinations, but I thought we
No.
were talking about what do we want to discuss the next meeting? We were like, oh, let's keep discussing discovery, or let's
Yeah,
so yeah, it was one of these.
We did. I think we had 2 sessions on discovery, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe I missed one. I'll have to go back and look at the recordings.
I'm look I was just looking at them to see.
If nobody else has issues, then that's wonderful news.
Oh, we did in September discovery setup, and then in November we did just discovery, but honestly, I don't remember what that covered.
That's fine. I can go back and do my homework.
Anyone have anything else that you wanted to share or talk through? No. Okay. All right, well, we can end early. I will follow up about the roadmap. If you have any for roles, if you have any questions about the meeting or need on March 25th or need the link, please let me know. But I hope to see some of you there. Pretty hopeful about this meeting. I think it'll be nice just to also talk to other academics outside of WISPALS that are using WMS as well. So I think that will be good.
It'll be good to see each other in person again.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll give you a half hour back, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me
Thanks.
this morning. I hope you have a good rest of your week.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Melody.